No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Let me take an opportunity and greet the members of the Portfolio Committee, extend also the greetings to the members of NACEC that are here with us today in the meeting. Chairperson, I don't have a lot of question, but the first thing I'm interested with is, are we not going to have another state entity that will end up being like a white elephant, where we will not get what we want? Because previous institutions have showed us that they are not capable to deal with issues of corruption. Corruption is rampant today in South Africa. We had these institutions that the presenter presented about. Now we are introducing another agency, which I don't think that will assist us going forward, because it happens with all other departments or all other departments in government. When the entities fail, they start another entity, which of each we don't have proof that the entity will work for us. But I've got a question, Chairperson. I saw that on the presentation that they mentioned that there will be an integration of the SIU into the proposed Office of the Public Integrity. So the SIU at the moment answers to the president, raising concern about executive interference. The speaker spoke about that, and he also mentioned that's why they need autonomy in administration of a lot of things that he mentioned here, because he also feels like the president is the one that is appointing the committee that deals with the appointments. So where is the independence there? But now this SIU that we are going to integrate the OP with, it also answers to the president. It also raised concern of the executive interference. A truly Chapter 9 institution, independent Chapter 9 institution, must report directly to Parliament, not to executive. So how is that going to happen? Can you please just take it thorough with that one so that we understand exactly what is going to happen? Chairperson, the other input that I want to bring is the fragmentation of mandates across the NPA, SAPS, and the Hawks, and SIU has been a long-standing enabler of elite impunity. A multi-agency model cannot succeed without clear lines of accountability, whistleblower protection, and independent prosecution mechanism. The report lacks mention of corruption within the SAPS and the Hawks themselves, particularly regarding the complicity in economic crimes and political interference. Why does the NECA presentation ignore systematic corruption within SAPS and the political shielding of top brass by the ministers? So my question is, what is the NACAC stance on the appointment of politically aligned individual leadership in these entities, and what are they going to do in terms of that, Chairperson? Chair, the last question I think that I want to raise here is also about the whistleblowing and public protection. Chair, the whistleblowers like Babita Decoram has been assassinated for exposing corruption. The existing legal and security framework is grossly inadequate. No concrete proposal is presented in the midterm report to fund or institutionalize whistleblower protection beyond reviewing legislation. Will NACEC recommend a dedicated whistleblower protection fund? And if not, why does the presentation not propose the creation of a whistleblower protection agency separate from the police to ensure the neutrality? Chairperson, I saw in the presentation, a lot of things are still in progress, when corruption is very rampant. So, what is the agency of these things? The presenter must tell us when are they going to finalize a lot of things that he mentioned here that he's still in progress with. We are experiencing high rate of crime in South Africa, so we need to act with agency so that we cap the corruption as it happens in the country. Thank you so much, Chair.